right, good morning. This is Adhpa. Doing a little video take here to put up a second video after my first one. And I'm going to run this one pretty much like I intend to run all my other ones, which is we'll start with pulling some cards to see what the energy for the day, where we need to direct our energies for the day as a collective to help with the overall process of enlightenment that's occurring on the planet throughout humanity at this time. Before I start though, I just wanted to go over a little bit with you and show you which decks I use. You can use any decks. When we're doing this kind of work with the energy, what we're doing is we're using our intuitive senses and cards that have symbols and various meanings to help us identify answers to our intuitive questions based on the energies of the moment. So you can use a lot of things to do this kind of connection with your inner intuition. For these videos, I'll be using these tools, which I'm going to show you. So first are some what we call oracle decks. Oracle decks are where you might pull a card out of the deck. This is called Fairy Gems. It's going to look backwards to you on the screen, so I apologize for that until I get this all sorted out. But it's a crystal oracle, and it basically gives you some idea of what crystal energies to work with. Another one is called the Sacred Medicine. This is by Aisha Frost. I like this one. It's not quite a tarot, but it gives you a nice storyline, and you can read it also as oracle cards. We'll be pulling a Sacred Path card today. This is what the card deck looks like, and here's the Sacred Path. This is Jamie Sams. Again, it's an oracle deck, but it's really good, numbered. You can do various full spreads or just pull cards for the day or whatever you want to sort of see where you are in the sacred journey path. Typically, I pull from the Aquarian Tarot for my main tarot readings. That's my deck. You can see it's pretty used, well used, tried and true. And then I took a universal weight deck and combined it with a Toth deck to create my 1111 deck, which has the 5 suits. So in addition to your typical 4 suits, which are normally cups, swords, wands, and pentacles, I have a 5th suit, which I call rainbows. Now, I don't call the other 4 suits by their traditional names. For me, swords are feathers, wands are lightning or volcano, cups are shells, and pentacles are stones. But I have marked up a deck. This deck not only has the normal symbols on it, but I've added an 1111 symbol and which of the readings in the 1111 are used for that. And that's a deck that I use very specifically to pull on 1111 energies, universal energies, and it gives you more of a overall life journey read, energy read. It's not quite so grounded in the day-to-day stuff as some of the other readings are. I recently picked up this L'Étrange Noël de Monsieur Jacques, a French deck of the tarot. Obviously, it's Tim Burton's deck, which I got when I was just recently in France. I really love that. And then I used the Hippie Chick Tarot as well. It's another good tarot, full tarot deck. This is what the deck itself looks like, with her own interpretations of the traditional tarot. So just to start today, what I'll do to sort of pull an oracle card to give us an idea in the Sacred Path cards where the energy is today. And what I'm doing right now is I pull, so I'm grounding in and connecting to the cards, and I'm just going to clear my energy. And then I'm going to focus in to see where should we be focusing our energy today to manifest the highest intentions for all things, for all in this energy matrix. And a card jumps out. When a card jumps out for me, that pretty much tells me that I've got an answer. So the card that jumped out is called Standing People, Roots, Giving. So again, I apologize that the deck is backwards from your viewpoint. What this card is showing is a hide. All of these Sacred Path cards will have the picture displayed on a hide. And on this hide is a picture of the fall, the time we're in now. It's a giving time of year we're coming into. It's also a rooting time of year when the trees and the plants come in for the winter. They begin to work on their root systems. So everything pulls in above ground and they begin to work deeply on their roots. And what this card is saying is, to me, is that is the energy that we're all in. And what we need to be focusing our highest intention on is this season, this time for reflection and for deepening our roots, for strengthening our roots, and forgiving. Everything that we have produced is done, and now it's time to share out and give from that. So that's what it's telling me today on the cards. Now, if I'm going to pull a 4-card Aquarian tarot reading and just ask for this, for strengthening our roots at this time, for opening up the channels of giving, where is this? Give me a 4-card read to help us understand a little bit more about how this is going to assist us. Like, what is that doing if we focus on that energy today? So it sounds like today is like a good day to clear house. You see Manxie there in the background? That's my Manxie boy. And he likes to make his appearances a lot more subtly normally than our Heidi, who could just come bounding across the table at any moment, and probably will. Anyway, 4-card read, get some clarification on how we should be focusing that energy this week, today, in this time, on rooting and sharing, giving, turning from just always taking stuff in to putting stuff out, sharing out, giving from our own produce. Like, what have you been working on? What have you produced? And are you sharing that out into the collective? All right, so 4-card read on that. Very interesting when the cards don't come up. Oh, and there we go. And there's the second one. Okay, so that's very interesting. We get the Queen of Cups. So when we're talking about cups, we're talking about spirit, sort of the deep emotions, you might call it, but this is really the energy cup. This is the water that runs through us and through all things, and represents that. When we're talking about the Queen, that's representing internal stuff. So we could be talking about beliefs here. We could be talking about internal spiritual connections. We could talk about internal nurturing, because it can also represent medicines, so internal medicines. So when the Queen comes up, we're talking about a time when people are all working internally. There is internal spiritual action occurring. And the card that came second, which is the current situation, 10 of Cups. So there's an end of a cycle here. We are in the midst of the fulfillment of a spiritual cycle. The card that comes in for the rear, just be what we've just come through and where we're headed. what we've just come through is the card of Judgment. Now, Judgment is almost the last card in the deck. And it, you know, it represents in the journey that judgment day when things are revealed, when the truth becomes known, and there is a full judgment from a position of knowing of events past. And we have come through this kind of a judgment moment. Humanity's actions have brought about a certain revealing and reckoning and the beginnings of the cycles of judgment that come from seeing stuff that changes what we always thought we knew, or what we were told, what we believed. So judgment has nothing to do with beliefs anymore. Judgment is a card about truth and what is. And it will expose our delusions if we have them, or reaffirm our rational beliefs in facts and stuff that has been proven, if that's the case. But it's a judgment. So but the card ahead and where this is leading to is another queen. We have the Queen of Rods. Now, rods represents fire, the heart, and again, it could be internal messages. It's what you feel about things. So you might have a belief that's deep-rooted in spirit, but then when that belief is challenged, you have a feeling, and that's that. Or you might have a belief in where you should put your energy, but you have a drive that really fires you up to do that. That's the Wands, so it's that internal fire. So when we're talking about the Queen, again, there's some new, changing, internal change of direction, change of what inspires us, some change to our fire that is occurring. And always look at the bottom of the deck when I'm doing a reading, and you see at the bottom of the deck here, we have the Eight of Swords. And what that means is that underlying all of this and how we address this issue of rooting and giving and all of that has everything to do with what kind of a self-imposed restriction we have put ourselves into through our thinking. So what this says to me is that our ability to make good judgments, fulfill spiritual purpose, and then share that by generating from within this fire and sharing it is only limited by our limited thinking. So rooting hopefully will get us below that or above it, as you want to say, however you want to say it, and help you to reevaluate your assumptions and beliefs all the time. Because if an assumption and a belief is true and valid, it can bear that scrutiny as much as it needs to. It's when we refuse to scrutinize our belief systems and then they get challenged by something that doesn't, that we thought was not true, or we don't want to be true, whatever it is, when that thing challenges us, if we are not able to reassess our assumptions and rethink situations, we tie ourselves up and we keep ourselves from growing. So that is the reading for the week. I hope you stayed through it. I really appreciate it if you did. Leave a like, leave a comment. It really helps me if I can get some feedback on these and help tailor it to what people would like to see and would like to talk about. So again, I appreciate your time, and I'll be putting out another video next week. In the meantime, have a great one. Check out my Facebook page. Link is in the description, and the Adhpa page as well. I post there a weekly reading from the 1111 deck and other things that might come up appropriate to energy work. You can always leave questions there as well, and I'll try to address them in my next video. All right, have a great week. Thanks so much. See ya.